How to build inner safety and self-love for your inner child. Carl Jung's wisdom. Take a deep, conscious breath with me right now. In through your nose, filling your lungs completely, and then gently, slowly, out through your mouth. Allow yourself to fully arrive here, in this present moment. Let your body soften, releasing the tension you might be holding in your shoulders or your jaw. Let your mind slow down just for our time together. I want you to give yourself permission right now to set aside everything else that is vying for your attention, the to-do lists, the worries, the expectations of the outside world. Because what we are going to talk about today isn't about that external world. It is about you. It is about that quiet, vast, and often overlooked inner world that holds so much of your truth, your pain, and your potential for profound healing. Have you ever noticed that even when things look perfectly fine on the surface of your life, something deep inside still feels unsettled? Perhaps you've checked off all the boxes you were told would bring you a sense of peace and fulfillment. Maybe you have accomplished significant goals, built stable routines, or made the kind of progress that others can see and admire. And yet, in the quiet moments late at night or in the stillness of the early morning, you feel that small, persistent ache. It's almost like a faint, melancholic echo in a room that has become too quiet. It is a whisper from the depths of your own soul, a voice that softly says, "I still don't feel safe, I still don't feel truly at home." I want you to pause for a moment here. If it feels comfortable for you, I invite you to place your hand gently over your heart. You can close your eyes if you like, and I want you to ask yourself, quietly and without judgment, this simple question. Do I feel safe inside? Do I feel at home within myself? Don't try to force an answer or analyze it. Just notice what, if anything, arises in the silence. That unsettled feeling, that quiet ache of not belonging to yourself is not a flaw in you. It is not proof that there is something fundamentally wrong with you. It is simply a sign, a messenger from your unconscious, letting you know that a part of you has been carrying old fear, old pain, and old unmet needs for a very long time. This part of you is what the great Swiss psychoanalyst Carl Jung would call the inner child. The inner child is not an imaginary concept. It is not about being childish or immature. It is the living, breathing, emotional memory of who you were when you were small. It is a powerful archetype that resides within every one of us. This inner child holds your earliest, most pristine joy. It is the keeper of your innate creativity, your sense of wonder, and your capacity for pure, unadulterated presence. But it also holds your earliest fear. It remembers, with perfect clarity, the moments when the world felt unsafe, or when love felt conditional. Think back for a moment. Can you remember yourself as a child? Maybe a specific memory comes up, or maybe it's just a fleeting image of yourself at 5 years old, or 8 or 12. I want you to try and picture that child standing in front of you right now. Look at their face, notice their expression. Are they smiling and carefree? Are they worried or anxious? Do they look like they are searching for someone to comfort them, to see them? That child is still alive within you, still waiting with infinite patience for a safe place to finally rest. Carl Jung once said, with his characteristic depth, "Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." Most of us spend our entire lives looking outside of ourselves, chasing a sense of safety and belonging in the external world. We look for it in the stability of our routines, in the validation of our achievements, in the recognition from others. But when we finally gather the courage to look inward, we make a profound discovery. The one who has been desperately asking for safety all along is not the competent, capable adult who runs your day-to-day life. It is that younger, more vulnerable version of you. Your inner child often speaks to you through your reactions. Have you ever noticed yourself becoming completely overwhelmed by something relatively small? A minor setback that feels like a catastrophe? Or maybe someone's words cut you deeply, far more than you rationally expected them to. Those moments are not weaknesses, they are signals. They are your inner child, triggered by the present moment, crying out from the past and saying, "I'm scared. Please hear me. This feels familiar." And here is something I want you to remember, to hold close to your heart. That child is not broken. They are not a burden to be managed or a flaw to be fixed. They are carrying your deepest innocence, your raw ability to feel joy, and your profound capacity for wonder. The only reason they feel unsafe is because they haven't yet been given a steady, reliable, and loving home inside of you. And you, the conscious adult you are today, are the only one who can build it. Let's use a metaphor. Imagine your life as a house. From the outside, the house may look perfectly fine. It might even look beautiful and impressive to others. But if the foundation underneath that house is cracked and unstable, every storm will feel dangerous. Every unexpected sound will make the whole structure tremble. That cracked foundation is what happens when we ignore the needs of our inner child. The outside looks strong, but the inside feels perpetually fragile. Building inner safety is the sacred work of repairing that foundation, brick by loving brick, until your inner home is steady, unshakable, and truly, deeply yours. Now that we understand why this sense of inner safety is so crucial, that it is the very foundation upon which a whole and peaceful life is built, the natural and most important question arises: how? How do we actually create it? How do we take this idea of safety and transform it from an abstract concept into a lived, felt experience deep within ourselves? This is not a process of intellectual understanding. It is a practice of embodied compassion. It is the work of becoming the parent to yourself that you may have always needed. The first and most foundational step is awareness. You cannot create safety for a part of yourself that you cannot see. The journey begins by learning to notice when the voice or the feeling of your inner child appears in your daily life. Maybe you hear it in the relentless stream of self-critical thoughts, the ones that whisper, "I am not good enough," or "I will always fail." Maybe you feel its presence in the sudden, inexplicable waves of fear or loneliness that can wash over you, even in moments of apparent calm. Or perhaps it shows up as a powerful, disproportionate reaction feeling, completely crushed by a small mistake, or utterly abandoned by a minor misunderstanding. These are not random moods or character flaws. They are signals. They are the child within you tugging at your sleeve, saying, "Please notice me. I am here and I am hurting." Once you begin to notice these signals, the second and perhaps most transformative step is compassion. Imagine how you would instinctively treat a small, frightened child in the real world. You wouldn't yell at them for being scared. You wouldn't dismiss their feelings or push them away. You would soften your voice. You might bend down to their level, look them in the eyes with kindness and say, "It's okay, I'm here. You are safe with me." You can and you must learn to do this for yourself. When the inner child speaks through a wave of anxiety or a critical thought, your task is to respond with gentle kindness instead of your habitual criticism. A simple but profound practice is to place your hand over your heart, feel its warmth, take a slow breath, and whisper gently, either aloud or in your mind, "I hear you. I will stay with you." You are not alone in this feeling. Carl Jung once said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Compassion is the very act of that acceptance. It is looking at the frightened, wounded child inside and saying, "I accept all of you, not only your joy and your light, but your fear and your pain as well." The third step is to create specific, intentional rituals of safety. These are small, consistent practices that remind your inner child, again and again, that they are finally protected. One of the most powerful rituals is visualization. In a quiet moment, you can close your eyes and begin to imagine building a safe home inside your mind, a room or a place where your inner child always feels welcome and secure. It could be a warm, cozy room with a soft armchair and a fireplace. It could be a sunlit meadow, a peaceful garden, or a quiet corner of a library with a comfortable blanket. There are no rules here. The important part is that every time you mentally return to this place, you are reinforcing a powerful message to your inner child. This is your sanctuary. This is where you are always unconditionally safe. Rituals can also be physical. The act of slow diaphragmatic breathing, gentle stretching, or simply placing a hand over your heart are powerful somatic signals to your body and mind that you are grounded, present, and safe in this moment. You can even create small anchoring routines in your day, lighting a candle in the morning, drinking a cup of herbal tea slowly and mindfully, listening to calming music as gentle but consistent reminders that you are actively creating an environment of profound care for yourself. And then there is the fourth step, which is the heart of this entire journey: reparenting. Reparenting yourself means consciously and consistently becoming the steady, reliable, and loving presence that your inner child has always needed. It is not about being a perfect parent to yourself. It is about showing up consistently, just as a loving caregiver does. It's about being the one who says, "I'm here for you no matter what." You begin to honor your own needs instead of dismissing them. You learn to set gentle but firm boundaries with others and with yourself. You provide yourself with adequate rest and nourishment. And when the old fear and shame rise to the surface, you meet them not with abandonment, but with the unwavering promise, "I will not abandon you. I will stay with you until this feeling passes." This is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong commitment. Safety is not built through grand, infrequent gestures. It is built through the steady, patient accumulation of thousands of small, consistent moments of care. The steps, then, are awareness, compassion, rituals of safety, and reparenting. Taken together, practiced with patience and sincerity, they form a new foundation within your psyche. They create a new inner home where your inner child learns, slowly and steadily, "I am safe here, I am loved here, I can finally trust." And when that deep cellular sense of trust begins to take root, the unsettled, anxious voice inside softens. The child within starts to relax, and you begin to feel a sense of peace and wholeness that does not depend on external circumstances, because it is being built with your own loving hands from the inside out. As we arrive at the heart of this healing journey, we must now talk about the practice that weaves all the other elements together: self-love. When we hear this phrase, it can sometimes feel vague, cliché, or even unrealistic. People often imagine it means always feeling confident, always being happy with yourself, or never again struggling with self-doubt. But real grounded self-love is not a constant, euphoric glow of positivity. It is a practice. It is a steady, patient, and often courageous way of relating to yourself with profound care, especially in the moments when it feels hardest. The great master of the psyche, Carl Jung, said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This process of becoming who you truly are requires the courage to accept the child within, to care for them, and to show up for yourself again and again, day after day. This is where true self-love begins. Think of self-love as the act of tending to a precious, sacred garden. You don't just plant the seeds once and expect beautiful flowers to bloom forever without any further effort. You must water the garden, you must tend to the soil, you must gently remove the weeds, and you must return to it day after day with dedication. Some days the growth is visible and vibrant. Other days it is not. But the consistent, loving act of showing up is what creates and sustains life. Self-love works in exactly the same way. It is the daily, conscious practice of caring for the garden of your own inner world. So what does practicing self-love actually look like in a real, tangible way? It begins with listening. When your inner child speaks to you through a wave of fear, a pang of sadness, or a deep sense of longing, you learn to respond with gentleness instead of your habitual judgment or dismissal. You learn to listen as you would listen to a dear and cherished friend. This simple yet profound act of deep, non-judgmental listening is, in itself, an act of love. Self-love is also about embodied care. Think about how you care for your physical body when you are tired. Do you relentlessly push through, ignoring its signals, or do you allow it the grace of rest? Think about how you treat yourself when you make a mistake. Do you immediately launch into harsh self-criticism, or do you offer yourself a moment of understanding and forgiveness? Each of these small, seemingly insignificant choices adds up to a larger, more powerful truth. Your inner child is always watching, always feeling how you treat yourself. When you consistently choose care, they begin to trust, on a deep, cellular level, that they are finally loved. Another powerful way to practice self-love is to create and internalize what we might call inner affirmations. These are not empty, hollow phrases, but genuine, heartfelt commitments you make to yourself. They are words like, "I will not abandon myself when I am in pain," or "I deserve patience and care as I heal." These affirmations are not about trying to convince yourself of something that isn't true. They are about reminding your inner child of the new sacred promises you are making to them. Now imagine for a moment that your inner child is sitting across from you. Picture their eyes looking into yours. What would it mean to them if you looked at them with all sincerity and promised, "I will take care of you, I will keep you safe. I love you." Even if you don't feel it fully yet, the very act of making that promise begins to rebuild the broken bridge of trust within your own psyche. Carl Jung once reminded us, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." Practicing self-love is the ultimate act of choosing what you will become. You are no longer solely defined by the old wounds, the old neglect, or the old stories of inadequacy. You are defined by the active, conscious love you choose to give yourself right here in the present moment. This is how you reclaim your power from the past. Remember this. Self-love is not about achieving perfection. It is not about never struggling again. It is about returning again and again with infinite patience to the practice of kindness. Just like tending that garden, some days you will see growth and some days you won't. But every single day that you return, you are proving to your inner child, "I am here, I am steady, I am not leaving." And that unwavering consistency is what finally transforms the inner emptiness into trust, the fear into peace, and the shame into a profound sense of belonging to yourself. This is the ongoing, lifelong practice of self-love. It is not a destination you arrive at, but a way of living, a way of relating to yourself with ever-deepening care, every single day. As we close our time together, remember that your inner child does not need you to be perfect. They only need you to be present. Each time you choose awareness, compassion, safety, or gentleness in your words, you are showing them that they are no longer alone. You are finally giving them a home inside your own heart.